Hi, everyone. I'm Melinda Emerson, Small Biz Lady, America's #1 small business expert. And it is my pleasure to welcome you to Small Biz Chat Live. Now, tonight's show, we're going to be talking about boosting your profits and a thing for P words, right? Now, if you need to get your business finances in order, you are in the right place. We're going to be looking at growing your business profits. We're also going to be looking at how you can be a better leader in your business. And we're going to talk with one small business owner who has been thriving through COVID. So she's going to give all of us some inspiration. Now, Small Biz Chat Live is a peer-to-peer interview show that gives small business owners a way to get and share invaluable information and advice. And the mission of Small Biz Chat is to end small business failure. Tonight's broadcast, we are on all of the platforms. We are on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. So check us out. You know, our goal here at Small Biz Chat Live is to give our small business audience an opportunity to hear sage advice from multiple angles from some of the best small business experts I know. Now, tonight's guests are profit coach Susie Carder, who's going to talk to us about her small business profit strategy. Then we'll check in with Michael Russo, who is a leadership expert and event host. He's going to talk to us about how to double down through the pandemic. So I can't wait to hear about that. And lastly, but certainly not least, we're going to talk with Dawn Finch, Miss Pudalika herself, and she is the CEO of Puka Pure and Simple, which is a health and wellness company. And she's going to talk to us all about that. And she's going to talk to us how about she has pivoted through the pandemic and it has been profitable. So I am excited to learn about all of these things tonight. And with that, I would like to introduce my first guest, profit coach Susie Carder. She started out as a low-paid hairdresser trying to support her two little girls. And then she decided that she had to do what she had to do in order to create her own business. With much blood, sweat, and tears, she went on to create not one, but two $10 million companies. And her newest book, Power Your Profits, a bulletproof strategy to start to finish plan for taking your business from startup to a multi-million-dollar enterprise. Susie, welcome to Small Biz Chat Live.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here with you. Just love what you're up to. Thank you for who you are in the industry. We need more people like you, girl.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Well, you know, I've been a big fan of you for a long time and excited that you're coming out with this book, your 10th book, I think it is.
Yeah.
So talk to us, give us your background and story. How did you go from single mom hairdresser to building businesses and being a profit coach? How did you do all that?
Well, I wish I said I had a strategy in the beginning, but in the beginning, it was all about my hustle muscle, girl. It was about taking care of my two little girls. I found myself divorced with two kids, no child support, no alimony, going, I've got to create a way that I can have a life that I love, right? And have a prosperous life. I love shoes, right? I love nice things. So I had to figure out, how do you pay for all that stuff? Childcare, private school, you know, their shoes, their education. And so quickly, you know, books were my first teacher, right? Mentor. So I would learn from the books, learn it that night, implement it the next day to figure out, how do I make money? And then from doing that, I built my business to about $250,000 a year as a hairdresser. And the average hairdresser at that time was doing about $30,000 a year. And I started working with Paul Mitchell because they said, can you teach our stylists how to do that? I'm like, okay. I didn't plan to be a speaker. I didn't plan to create that business. I was just coming from service and how do I serve my community? And then from there, they're like, Susie, I love what you do. Do you have a book? I'm like, no, I'm just trying to help you. I have a book. Then we read the book and they're like, oh my gosh, love, love, love. Do you have it on audio? And so pretty much my clients really created all the product suite that we had. And we built the largest training and development company in the beauty industry. We were teaching business systems. And 15% of all of our financial success is based on our technical ability. The other 85% is what I do, which is the sales, the marketing, the operations, and more importantly, the finance, right? Profit is what the value we bring as business owners to the table. Then I started teaching in an entrepreneur's workshop, again, coming from a place of service because we had built this multi-million-dollar company. And then regular entrepreneurs said, Susie, will you do for me what you did for the salon industry? And I'm like, no, I don't know anything about your industry. I mean, I had manufacturers. I had a wild animal park want me to coach them, like a wild animal park, a real wild animal park. And I was scared
because my head. The Tiger King. Wait, you could have been the Tiger King's coach.
I could have been a Tiger King's coach. Look, we figured out all the formulas for that business. So we started looking at, I thought, here was my smartness, Melinda. I was like, I'm just going to double my fee. I'm sure they're not going to pay that, so I could get out of coaching them, because I was scared. You know, that little voice in your head that says, you can't do it. Who do you think you are? And sure enough, they said, yes, Susie, we'll pay that. I'm like, uh-oh. So I had to figure out how to work with entrepreneurs. And what I realized at the end of the day, business is business, right? There's some indicators that are different. There's some financial structures that are different. You know your vocation. I know the money. And so I've been doing this for the past 15 years, helping entrepreneurs grow, scale, excel, and more importantly, sell. Set your business up to sell.
All right. So let's talk about what have been your secrets to building multi-million-dollar companies.
I'm going to share the biggest tool I give my clients. 90%. Now, 90% of entrepreneurs that come to me, they already have some kind of business in place, right? Whether they're 100,000, 200,000, a million. 90% of them do not have a plan. I know that's scary to believe. They might have wrote a plan when they first started years ago, but the reality is they're not using a plan in their business. The plan is the foundation. I use my business plan every single day, especially in this time when pandemic hit, because my plan that I started with at the beginning of the year completely shifted, in March. And so pivoting, and that becomes essential. So you're not in the COVID panic, right? Everything that's happening, it keeps me clear. It keeps me focused. And what am I supposed to be working on? Because entrepreneurs, we're creative, we're fun, we're sparkle, we're like, what's next? And I can get distracted like the best of them. There's so many opportunities coming to me that if I don't have my plan, I would run off on another way trying to do something else that isn't bringing me the highest income producing income.
Sure. And I also find too, that when people have a plan, they can figure out how to work on their most high value activities. It's like, Should you be entering your own data into QuickBooks? No, you should not. Not unless you're accountant, not unless that is your business. And those are the kind of administrivia type things I see small business owners get caught up in. If your time is billable at $250 an hour, why would you ever spend it doing $30 an hour work? Ever. So I appreciate exactly what you said. Now, tell me, what is the one thing you think every small business owner should do to build a company?
What we all need to do is spend time working on the financial plan of your business. And I know that's not sexy and that's not fun for people, right? In my new book in chapter 8, it's called Math is Money, Money is Fun. Because I didn't like doing finances either, but I liked what money could do for me, which allowed me to live the lifestyle that I love. So the financial plan truly is the secret sauce. And the way that I created it, look, I would meet with my CPAs and my accountants, and they would give me complicated income sheets. I'd have a balance sheet, a profit and loss, right? Accrual. I'm like, just give me one sheet that I know what I'm supposed to do. Don't tell me how much I did. Tell me what I need to do. So really creating that forecast in simple terms, right? How many units do we need to sell every day, every week, every month? So that you're clear. So I find entrepreneurs, and I don't know if you find this, Melinda, but people are either, they can manage units or they can manage sales, but they can't do both. So I want to find out, what's your sweet spot? Do you like to manage the things? Because someone can go, I can sell 10 things. And if 10 things equals $1 million, that's great. But if you say do 1 million, they freak out. So let's figure out what is your style. Either way, we've got to learn how to do it, but let's do it so it works for your personality. So we have the information so that we can build a multi-million-dollar company. Only 1.7% of small businesses hit that $1 million mark. And that's gross. That's not net. Right. That's how much money we bring in. That's not what's left over. And those people, Melinda, aren't even paying themselves a proper paycheck. So they're not, right? It's crazy.
It is. And it's funny because I always tell people, like, is your fear of math the reason why you don't know what's going on in your business? Like, why are you only calling an accountant at tax time? Like, that's crazy. Like, so it's a surprise to you how well your business did. You find out when you get your taxes done. No, you have to make business decisions based on up-to-date financial information, right? It's like profit is how we keep score in business. Is it not, Susie?
Profit is the value that we as business owners That's our value that we bring, is what that profit margin is, right?
Absolutely.
And they're not scared to go see what they did. They're scared to go see what they owe because they didn't manage that through the whole year. So they're freaking out. I got to sell something to pay my taxes.
I know. How often have you heard that? All right. So what is the business lesson that you've learned in growing a business?
I remember in 2007, it was the hardest lesson. I had just sold my company for $10 million. And I was in a place of utopia, right? I didn't have to ever work again. I could pick the projects I wanted to work on. I could contribute. And then the market crashed. And when the market crashed, I crashed. What took me 20 years to build was destroyed overnight. My marriage of 17 years, gone. My real estate assets, gone, right? My portfolio, gone. And I felt like a fraud. I was embarrassed. I was ashamed. I'm supposed to be the money lady. I'm supposed to teach you how to do this. And literally gone overnight. And I remember on the floor crying, and not a pity party, but just going, why? I've been a good steward. I care for people. I did what my coaches said. I gave back. I tithed. I did my tithing. I did it all, right? And I heard this voice inside of me. And the voice said, this will be your biggest victory and your biggest lesson. Get up, go do what you know how to do. This is not about you. There's another season. And in that moment, I said, okay, I got up. I had two clients, Lisa Nichols and John Asseroff. And I'm like, I'm going to do for them what I did for myself, build a multi-million-dollar company. So with those two clients, I pulled my big girl panties up and realized that as an entrepreneur, I had 20 years of experience. Right. But I kind of threw the baby out with the bathwater inside of my failure, inside of my breakdown. My breakdown didn't define me. That failure didn't define me. Like that voice inside of me said, you know what to do. Don't give up. And so I get chills every time I tell that story, because a lot of times, and right now is a really good example of it, where the universe, the economy, the racial tension, the political scene, the fires, the hurricanes are knocking people out. And we want to stay down. I'm going to say, get up, up. Because if I would have stayed down, I would have not created what I have now, which is an unrecognizable life. And that was the best lesson, although hard. Sometimes the best lessons are gifts that are wrapped in sandpaper. Not pretty. Right. It's not pretty, but man, I earned my stripes right then, right? Because I can say, look, I don't know what you did, but I lost 10 million and came back. What'd you do? What you got? What's your
right. You're like, my disaster is bigger than your disaster. So, all right. So one more question before we go to break. So if someone's starting a business again right now, what would you tell them to do differently?
Right now, I want you to look at, what does the market need? Right? Find the need and fill the need. If you look at any down economy, Google started in a down economy. Netflix started in a down economy. Microsoft started in a down economy. Amazon started in a down economy. Amazon is rising in a down economy. So you want to look at, I need you to look at, what's the need that's out there now that I can do, right? I'm a profit coach. I'm a business coach. So what needs to happen now is really being responsible for your fiscal responsibility. So each of us have a gift that God gave us, right? My gift from God is my life. My gift back to God is what I do with my life. You have that too. So I want you to look at, find what that thing is that people always ask you for advice for. Say, can you help me with this? And then let's monetize it. Let's create the financial infrastructure around you so that it's not just an idea. There's money everywhere. I promise you, even in this economy, I have friends that are killing it. We're killing it. Our business is unrecognizable, right? I was so nervous because I had 60 events on the books, live events that were gone overnight. And it was like, game changer. What do we do? So it really creates winners, people who are willing to go, I'm not giving up. I'm going to persevere. I'm going to make this happen. And so this is the best time to start something new. But let's get support around you, whether it's Melinda, whether it's myself. I don't care. Get someone around you that can really help you understand this crazy thing called business.
I love it. I love it. When we come back, we're going to talk more with Susie Carder about why so many small businesses struggle with profitability. You're watching the Small Biz Chat Live, and we will be right back.
Hi, I'm Melinda Emerson, Small Biz Lady. I know you might be thinking about quitting your business and going back into corporate America, but wait, before you give up, my new book, Fix Your Business, could give you a whole new lease on life. My 12 P's of running a successful business will walk you through step by step how to grow your business revenue, how to hire great people, and streamline your processes, and so much more. Grab a copy today of Fix Your Business and get your life back.
Welcome back to Small Biz Chat Live. We are talking with profit coach Susie Carder. She's got a great new book out called Power Your Profits. All right, Susie, let's jump into this. Why do you think so many small businesses struggle with profitability? I once read a Harvard Review article that said 60% of small business owners are not profitable by any measure you could possibly use. So what is the deal with that? Why are all these people out here, have with glorified hobbies? What is going on?
A lot of it is just ignorance on fire, right? We just excited about our vocation. Remember, I said 15% of your financial success is the technical. So we run with the technical going, if I just work harder, if I give better service, if I give more, then the money will come. Profit is planned for. If you don't plan for it, it's like savings, right? I'm going to save when there's money left over. There's no money left over. You got to plan for it. Plan your retirement, plan your income, set goals. Same thing in business is we have to plan for what is the profit that you want. 10%, 20%, every industry has indicators, and we can look specifically what's the average and then what's our goal. Look, I don't know about you, Melinda, but I'm not average. My coach told me average is the best of the worst. So I'm not the best of the worst. I'm the best of the best.
I know that's right. Well, I think that's really, really important. So, what can a small business do though that doesn't have a lot of money, that maybe doesn't have a lot of money to hire me or you to be their coach right now? What should they do, like, to really kind of get their arms around this stuff we're talking about in their business?
Look, when I started this, very similar to you, I had no money. My books, very similar to my book, became my coach. There's amazing content out there. The only thing is you have to implement it. So a book's $20, $30. Start there, but implement the work, right? I bootstrapped my businesses. Bootstrapping is every dollar that came in, 25 cents came to me and 75 cents went to the business, right? And building that. So I will say that there's money all around you. There's money all around you. The reality is there's people around you that believe in you. Go to your friends and family, but do it as an investment. One of my first friends told me, Susie, you need an audio tape. This is how old I am. I'm just saying, you need an audio tape with that book. And I'm like, I have no money for that. He's like, I'll invest in you. I will give you the $5,000 so you can make an audio tape. You'll give me a percentage of everything you sell until you hit this dollar amount. Now I had to pay double back. But back then, if you said 5,000, you might as well said $1 million. I just didn't have it. I was a single mom raising 2 kids. I didn't have an extra $5,000. If I had an extra $5,000, it was not going to put an audio tape together.
Right.
So he invested in me because he saw what I was up to and what I was doing. I had to come with the plan. I had to tell him how many units I would sell and how I would do it. And listen, I made it up. I didn't know how I was going to do it. So part of an entrepreneurship, which is beautiful, is we get to create, we get to dream, we get to make it up and then put the plan in place behind it, right? The challenging thing that I see is people want to go from 0 to 1 million. Now that can happen, right, but you've got to have the infrastructure and some experience. Let's take that in baby steps and go, let me keep my job. We call that your investor, and then build this thing called a business and slowly wean out of your job before you take the leap. Right.
I completely agree with you. I teach the exact same thing. Launch while working. I don't believe in folks quitting a job to start a business. That is not ideal. Now, some people don't have a choice. Obviously, they've been furloughed or downsized or whatever. But if you still have a job, keep it. Learn on somebody else's dime as long as you possibly can. All right, Susie, tell us about your new book, Power Your Profits. How can every small business owner benefit from this book?
Listen, this book is 30 years in the making, right? It's everything I learned the hard way: bubblegum, shoestring, Band-Aid, duct tape to build a multi-million-dollar company. I've built 7 multi-million-dollar companies, 2 $10 million companies. I've helped over 100,000 entrepreneurs understand this thing called money. Every chapter in the book, Melinda, has an assessment to look at where are you. I don't know about you, but I love to do personality assessments, quizzes. We just got put in Cosmopolitan's top 20 reads in 2020. And I love that because as a kid, Cosmo was my thing because you could take all the quizzes and all the assessments, and which is really exciting. So every chapter walks you through what's working in your sales, what's not working in your sales. So then we have a roadmap to go, here's what I'm going to work on. But what's beautiful about it, not only do you have the roadmap, you have the it, not the idea, not the concept. Do this, get this. Success is predictable. So quit trying to make it up, right? Look at how do I put this in place so that I can make the now money now to provide for my family, to live my dreams, and create a life that is unrecognizable.
I love it. I love it. And you know what? I believe the exact same thing. Success leaves clues everywhere. Try reading a book like Susie Carder's Power Your Profits. Susie, thanks so much. I want you to stick around. We're going to bring you back at the end, but I want to go to break right now because I'm excited. We're going to be talking with, there's so many things going on in life and in business right now with this pandemic world we're in. We're going to talk with Michael Russo. All about that and more. I'm Melinda Emerson, the Small Biz Lady. You're watching Small Biz Chat Live, and we will be right back.
My new book, Fix Your Business, is really about encouraging people to take back control of their business and change how their businesses is run. It's not okay to skip paychecks. It's not okay to never feel like you can take a vacation. And it's also not okay to not know how much profit you've made in your business until your taxes are done. I really want business owners to stop letting their businesses be runaway trains. I've written this book to teach people processes and systems to help them run their businesses intentionally. My goal is to help existing entrepreneurs create a business that allows them to live their dream life.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Small Biz Chat Live. I'm Melinda Emerson, Small Biz Lady, your host. We are broadcasting live from Twitter. We are on YouTube, and we are on my Small Biz Lady Facebook fan page. So thank you so much to my fans out there. If you hear something you like, tweet it, retweet it, leave us a comment. And most importantly, if there's a topic you want us to hit on Small Biz Chat Live, let us know, because I know everybody in the business. So I will call them and book them for the show. All right. We are now back with my next guest. His name is Michael Russo. He's a leadership expert, keynote speaker, and MC who has hosted events all over the country. He speaks on the power of doubling down in life and overcoming failure to create success. He's a firm believer that failure is a key ingredient to success if utilized properly. He's also the head of the identity marketing agency that's recognized as one of the top field experiential promotional marketing companies in the U.S. In 2016, he started a movement called Be the Change, and he's going to tell us all about that. Anthony, welcome to Small Biz Chat Live.
How's it going, Melinda? It is awesome to get an opportunity to be here with you. Thank you for letting me share.
Awesome. All right. So since the pandemic started, how has the nature of business changed for small businesses from what you've seen?
Well, I think it's taken a complete and utter overhaul, which has been an opportunity for most. People look at all the worst times, including your own story. You look at the worst times in our economic history, and those are the greatest opportunities for people to take advantage of what's going on in the world and say, this is my chance to take a step back and build. Look at the failures of the past and look at the current failures that we're going through. So really, small businesses change because a lot of people are going out of business, and it gives the opportunity to seek the opportunity for new business.
I agree with you. Though the people that are going out of business is very sad that a lot of people, have been hit really hard, but those customers have to be serviced somewhere. So it's an opportunity as well. So tell me, what do you think are the best marketing channels right now for B2C businesses and B2B businesses?
So ultimately, this is like a survive and thrive type situation. So either you're going to start with the survival, and if you can find a channel to thrive, you go for it. B2C or B2B businesses are a huge opportunity from the digital space because everything is obviously now on Zoom. You're always doing your chat. So you find opportunities and channels. You look at some of the streaming companies that started out in February that were just starting. These were small businesses. And now they've all started their competitions against Zoom and whatever that might be. And there's several streaming industry businesses that are now huge and enormous and have blown up. So they found an opportunity. So those are B2Bs. Now B2Cs, you have to think a little bit more mobile. You got to be creative. You got to use that old adage of thinking outside of the box, because right now you can't have your standard stores. And we don't know exactly when that's going to be back. Like if you walk around different areas, you're going to see how much business has been lost. But at the same time, people are still buying. So you have to find those channels. So both of those are there, but they've just shifted enormously.
Mm-hmm. Now, how did you get started with experiential marketing, and like how has the pandemic, obviously experiential marketing, there's nobody out on the street for you to run up to with a flyer. So what are you doing? Like, how has that impacted your business?
Well, what's interesting, so Identity Marketing was the agency I started in 2010. In experiential marketing, it was a staffing firm for promotional models and brand ambassadors. And I saw that there was it was a fallible business in the sense that experiential could go at any time, and I didn't know why. So in 2018, I actually merged with a different agency called Assist Marketing and started working more on Be the Change. But personally, I was still speaking. So on top of the motivational speaking, which actually motivational speaking and performance coaching are only about 2.5 years in my history, whereas emceeing, being on field, so I'm the Jumbotron guy for most of the major NCAA sporting events and a lot of auto show type stuff as well. That's gone. So the experiential marketing, people look at all the different businesses that have been lost right now, and they go, wow, this is a lull, this is low, people aren't going here as much. Experiential is done, completely done. So essentially finding a way to spin out of it, which to me, and I'm sure we'll talk a little more, I started focusing more on Be the Change, which is a streaming type network. And we put out different shows and different content of positivity. So ultimately experiential has become this. So I'm still hosting events online, whereas they would have been in person. So the experiential has just changed.
Sure. So talk to me about, I know that you have this theory of there is power in doubling down. And can you talk to us about what do you mean by that? Because that always sounds like a gambling analogy. Like that's like pushing all your chips in the middle and being like, run the roulette wheel. Like tell me what you mean by doubling down.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is kind of based on a doubling down. It is based on a gambling strategy. So I consider myself, often when I get myself introduced, I call myself a failure expert, because I believe there's so much power in failure that we do not embrace. We're so deathly afraid of failing. And the concept of doubling down ultimately is taking your failures and learning from them. So we have this old adage that says, if you get knocked down, dust yourself off and get back up again. Personally, I think that is a lacking philosophy. It's a little short-sighted, because ultimately you dust yourself off and get back up again. If you get hit with the same thing, you're going to get knocked down the exact same way. That's the definition of insanity right there. Sure. Ultimately, doubling down is just taking all the failures, learning from them. So when you get knocked down, so you get hit with the left hook, you get hit on the ground, before you fully get back up, you think about it. You think about what got you there in the first place, and you capitalize. And it is based on a gambling philosophy that my father was actually a compulsive gambler. Growing up, he lost our life savings twice. And he gambled with a method called negative progression, which is very, very dangerous in gambling. But when you look at it as a life structure and a life concept in business, it's very powerful, because ultimately with negative progression, you are doubling your bet every time you lose. So it's that same philosophy. It's a doubling down philosophy, so that you always end up one bet ahead when you start instead of just one step up.
Well, I guess the next time I go to Las Vegas, I'll have to pay closer attention, because you lost me a little bit with that, but that's okay. All right. So listen, so tell me more about this concept of embracing failure, because I hear you about learning from failure, but I get concerned about people who embrace failure. But I want you to explain to me your philosophy.
Yeah. So I think failure is just like, it's become a negative F word when it's actually a positive F word. So failure is, we try to avoid it so much. And the more we avoid it, the more we're destined to make the same mistakes. So the concept of embracing it is, instead of take away the way we look at the word, take away the concept behind the word, and actually look at failure as part of the journey. And it's the cheesy philosophy. It's not the destination, it's the journey. But ultimately it really is, because these little failures are what keep you on your path. It's, you bounce wall to wall to wall to wall. And ultimately, these failures also can define you as a person. I always talk to people, and when I do my performance coaching, it's not the days that you wake up and things are easy that are going to define who you are tomorrow. It's the days that you wake up, you don't want to get out of bed, everything's going wrong. Much like Susie's story when she was talking about what she was going through during the recession. It's how she got up through that and got through that failure that made her who she is today. So the failure, the concept of embracing the failures is actually going to get you to or closer to that destination faster, ultimately.
It's an interesting philosophy. I have a slightly different one. Like, I kind of don't believe in failure. What I believe is that some lessons just get to be more expensive than others, right? Like, there's all kind of lessons out here, and it depends on what kind of check you get to write for that one, and I think that you learn from it, frankly, the more expensive it is. But I worry sometimes about, I think some people don't understand the difference between failing and failure, because right. I think it's okay to fail at something, it happens. Your estimate was off. Who you thought your niche customer was really wasn't your niche customer, right? Okay. But failure is someplace people can get stuck, I think, sometimes. And sometimes, particularly you men, I'm gonna pick on you men here for a second. Some of y'all connect your value to what's in your pocket. So if all of a sudden you got butterflies in your pocket, all of a sudden you think you don't have any value, right? And so we as women, though, I think because we have the children, we have no pride when it comes to stuff like that. I will do whatever job I have to do to take care of my son. Trust and believe that. But I think for men it's different, and I think some women too, because some people value people based upon what they think they have and things like that. So I hear your philosophy, but I just want to push back on you a little bit, because I just think failure can be dangerous and people can get stuck there and not get over it. I mean, think about all the people walking around still stuck on a loop of something somebody told them they couldn't do when they were in third grade. Like, there's people that are still miserable over something like that. So that's what I'm just saying about.
No, you're totally right.
Think about it.
Yeah, you're totally right. So there's a difference between failure and failing, and failure is essentially the concept of giving up or letting it overtake you. Unfortunately, that's the problem with failure. So I actually, when I do my talks, I break apart micro failures and macro failures. Okay. And I have the crowd list off what failures are. And we go through the whole list, anything from burning dinner to losing a job to going bankrupt to all these different things. And in the beginning, we start talking about how simple things are, and they go, oh, that's micro failure. Oh, it's a micro failure. Oh, it's small. And then we get all the way to the divorces, and we get to the bankruptcies, and ultimately I say, are you here today? Because at first they're like, well, that's macro. I lost everything. Are you here today?
Right,
do you have
right.
the opportunity to move forward? So yes. So I think it's a nomenclature issue that between the two of our topics. So to fail is human and positive. To be a failure and to embrace failure too much, I agree with you. We need to get over that. We need to get
dangerous.
Past that.
It's very dangerous. Now, listen, when we come back on Small Biz Chat Live, we are going to talk to Anthony about the Be the Change movement. I'm Melinda Emerson, the Small Biz Lady. You are watching Small Biz Chat Live, and we will be right back.
Are you tired of struggling in your business, not taking a paycheck, dreading dealing with your business in the morning? Are you regretting even starting your business in the first place? Well, I know you're tired, and I also remember what that kind of tired is like. But the good news is, it's time to stop feeling that way. Stop! I'm Melinda Emerson, Small Biz Lady, and my new book, Fix Your Business, is a 90-day turnaround plan to get back your life and reduce chaos in your business. I've been in business nearly 20 years, and let me teach you how to build a business that works for you. Grab a copy today.
Welcome back to Small Biz Chat Live. I'm Melinda Emerson, the Small Biz Lady. I am so excited to be here with my guest, Anthony Michael Russo, and he's going to talk to us about the Be the Change movement. Anthony, tell us what it is.
Yeah, in 2016, I started something. I saw that there was just this gap in our country, in world, might I say, that we talk a lot about awareness. We create awareness. We talk about action, but we don't take action. So I created Be the Change with this thought of having a side thing of seeing what it would lead to, like sell t-shirts. I have no idea. I didn't know what it would be at the time. So I started working towards a trademark, and I based it off of the police shooting in Dallas. I'm from Dallas, and I saw that there was 5 police officers that were protecting people that were protesting against them. And then they got killed in that instance. And I saw that there was just this miss that we were having as a society. And I feel like we're still kind of in that, where we yell about doing things and we don't actually do things. And ironically enough, my company is #BeTheChange, but we're all about moving past hashtags and actually taking action. So that's what Be the Change is. And part of this whole pandemic and what we've been going through, this has been that opportunity, like you talked about on the previous segment, where my pockets are empty. Like there's nothing coming in, but I have utter and complete faith of this concept of sharing positivity, which is something that I feel like we are just super void of in our country right now. And having this channel for positivity, we've got other shows on there that we've just grown out of nowhere. We went from 500 followers in March to now 15,000 approximately. And it's an active audience that all are just listening to what we talk about and engaging in what we talk about and trying to learn how to better communicate with each other. And that's essentially the best part of Be the Change, is activating people and then getting people to communicate and unite.
So what do you think why do you think so many people have been drawn to your movement since COVID started?
Well, we started out with something called Truth Will Set You Free, and then a funny show, which is called Biscuits and Gravy. And that wasn't the gist. But Truth Will Set You Free, right after the incident with George Floyd, we just decided we were actually doing the uncomfortable conversation before the one guy went super, super viral with Matthew McConaughey in a show. But we were bringing people together from all different sides and having uncomfortable conversations. And we've continued that. And we got lucky that I got in contact with a guy that had just gone super viral. His name is Cashley Kelly. And we engaged with him, and he became a regular guest. And I helped him build his business, because really he was a dude that went viral for something and didn't know what he wanted to do. He just knew that he wanted to make change. So he started Streetlights Unity Movement, and with Be the Change, it was very similar philosophies, which were engaging with the community, making sure people understood a different way to communicate, and communicate their truths to each other and to not hate each other as a society, and also activate the community into community policing and engaging with youth to get them out of the gang mentality and all these different things. So that's kind of where we were with that. And that's how we've started to come together. And it just resonated with people, because if there's a time to have a company by the name of Be the Change, 2020 is it.
I hear that. I hear that. Well, how can people get involved with the Be the Change movement?
Absolutely. So we've got, if you just go to Be the Change, or hashtag, spell it out, hashtag BeTheChange.com, you'll get a little bit more info. The easiest and the biggest platform we have is on Facebook, which is Be the Change USA. If you look for it on there, and ultimately just ask. We have a lot of different things going on. We have streetlights groups, which we've set up through Cash and myself. These streetlights groups are in every state, and it's the opportunity for people to actually take action on their own. So before we have a bunch of funding, we essentially can empower people to be the change they want to see in their own community. So find us on hashtag BeTheChange.com or Be the Change USA, and we will guide you in a way to help you change the world.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, thank you for being with us, Anthony. Hang out. We're going to bring you back at the end of the show. But right now, I'm going to go to break, because when we come back, we are going to talk with Dawn Fitch, and she is the president and CEO of Puka Pure and Simple, a beauty and health company. And I can't wait to talk with her about how she has pivoted through the pandemic and is making more money than ever. I'm Melinda Emerson, Small Biz Lady. You're watching Small Biz Chat Live. Stay with us. Hi, everybody. I'm Melinda Emerson, the Small Biz Lady, and I want to invite you to enter the Small Biz Chat podcast giveaway contest. For the next 30 days, starting today, you'll have the chance to win amazing prizes if you subscribe to the podcast. All you need to do is take a screenshot after you subscribe to the Small Biz Chat podcast and tag me, Small Biz Lady, on Twitter or Instagram. Once a week, I'll select a winner, and you have a chance to win one of my autographed books, Become Your Own Boss in 12 Months, or Fix Your Business, or you might even get a chance to win one of my limited edition Small Biz Chat podcast t-shirts. Don't delay. Subscribe to the Small Biz Chat podcast today. Welcome back to Small Biz Chat Live. If your business has been adversely affected by the pandemic, then you've probably been forced to pivot. My next guest, Dawn Fitch, CEO of Puka Pure and Simple, is here to share with us how she has not only pivoted, but actually been thriving through COVID. Dawn is the author, speaker, health advocate, and the founder of Puka Pure and Simple, which is a handmade bath and body company. After battling an illness and feeling the need to adopt a healthier lifestyle, she began making and selling her own products. Her products are currently sold in Whole Foods, online, and through various distributors. And she's going to tell us about a wonderful opportunity that she just got. I'm so excited. I want to spill the beans. But she has also been featured in Essence Magazine as one of their top 20 Black beauty brands. Dawn Fitch, welcome to Small Biz Chat Live.
Hey, Melinda.
So excited to have you with us. So tell me, what was going on with your business, and then the pandemic hit. Tell me what was happening and how you kind of turned things around.
Well, things were great. Things were going good. We just came off a great holiday season, going into Valentine's Day, and then the pandemic hit, and it threw everybody for a loop. I mean, nobody really knew what to do. And, we have the products that we make for Whole Foods. We have those manufactured for us, but all the rest of the line is handmade. So we have a warehouse, and everybody comes in, and, we make the products, we ship the products and things like that. So when the pandemic hit, I closed down the website. I told everybody to go home, and, we'll close down the website because we were in New Jersey. We were pretty hard hit at the beginning. And, I came home and I was like, what am I gonna do now? And then my friends were like, you better open up that website again. I was like, you know what, maybe you're right. Because we were able to get into our warehouse, but we had just a couple of days that we could go in. So we'd split the staff and people went in. But I wasn't even sure that, people weren't really concerned at that point with bath and body products. That wasn't they didn't care about that. They were trying to be healthy and stay alive. And, thankfully, prayerfully, a big part of my business was building a community. So about, I want to say 2 years ago, I built a community because I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, which is really why I started the business. Before I knew what the diagnosis was, just trying to be a little healthier. So one day I was having a bad MS day and I said, you know what, I know there are other people going through the same thing. So I went to Facebook, I grabbed a couple of my friends, and I started a community called the Best Life Tribe, where we could actually just talk about health and wellness and fitness and food and diet. And I tell you, starting that community during the pandemic, the Best Life Tribe saved my business. Having a community to go to from my business saved my business. You know, we put the website, like I said, we put the website back up, but really nobody was ordering at that time. And in the tribe, I talk about other things, not necessarily my bath and body products all the time, but talk about other things. And I talked about this one ingredient that I love to take, which is sea moss. And people are like, you know, what is this sea moss stuff? And I was like, oh, you know, it's just something I really take. It's, you know, it's good for you. And they were like, well, do you sell it? I was like, no, I just, you know, I just take it. I said, but if you want some, just email me and I'll send you a little kit. You can make it yourself. And I checked my email and I had 65 emails for sea moss.
Wow.
Like, ding, ding,
wow, ding. Really?
That was, so you know what I did? I pivoted. I listened to what my customers wanted and I started producing sea moss. And producing sea moss saved my business through the pandemic because people ordered loads of sea moss every week. So learning the pivot and listening to what the customer really wanted. And, you know, they would go to the website and they would pick up some sea moss and they would buy some beauty products. You know, I developed a line of sea moss soap. I had a sea moss kit. I put sea moss in everything. And I really did. And it saved the business. So being able to pivot and having a community to pivot to in my business was what really saved us.
So what other things did you do, you know, because having, you know, an autoimmune disease, that means you were high risk for COVID. So what did you do sort of like to manage your own kind of health and sanity, you know, while you were kind of like at home when your warehouse was closed?
Yeah, that was tough. That was tough. But as I said, I went into that community and that's pretty much where I stayed. Because the community, when we started COVID, I think maybe there were 1,000 people in the Best Life Tribe. And we just had a mass infusion because people were looking for somewhere to go to get some health advice, to feel good, to have community, to feel, you know, talk about ingredients that they were taking to stay healthy in the tribe. So the tribe doubled. We're now at 5,000 people joined the tribe just through COVID. And we did challenges. We did, you know, the new normal autoimmune challenge, and we did drink more water challenge, and how to have a self-care challenge. So it really became a place that really just took it to the next level. And those people started to actually say, well, you know, who is this woman? You know, what does she actually do? So then that made them come back and check out my products, and it was a win-win.
That sounds really, really, really good. Now, I know that you also developed a self-care planner, right, through COVID, like because people were kind of looking for help to kind of figure out what kinds of things they could do because people were scared to, you know, obviously gyms and stuff were closed down. So tell us a little bit about that.
I was a busy little bee during COVID. I mean, I was prayerful and thankful that, you know, I was able to stay healthy because I was doing this all, you know, basically from my home. I would go into the warehouse once a week and that was pretty much it because I do have the autoimmune, so I was staying in. But people were so stressed. Self-care was the big thing that everybody, you know, people weren't sleeping. They weren't eating right, or they were, you know, eating things they weren't supposed to be eating. They just didn't feel good. So once we did this self-care challenge, you know, they kept asking me questions about it. I was like, you know what, let me put together a little planner that they can use, put it on Amazon. And now the planner is really selling well too. I put the planner on my Puka website as well. So now the tribe people buy it and the Puka people are buying it as well. So the tribe has really been leading me as to what I should create because they're telling me what they need. They wanted a line of sea moss products, you got it. You know, you want challenges, you got it. You want a planner, I gotcha. Really good place for them to be during the pandemic.
Well, I think you are a perfect example of somebody who has their ear to the ground, talking to their customers and taking their feedback and running with it. Now, you recently had an amazing opportunity with QVC and HSN and Zulily. Talk to us about that.
I mean, one of the things I could say during the pandemic is because it's been a trifecta, the economy, social unrest, and the pandemic, there has been so much goodwill just from, people reaching out and wanting to support small Black-owned businesses. And, just there's been so much of that. So I saw this opportunity for QVC, and it was, I think you had a little bit to do with sharing this opportunity. And I grasped onto it, and I said, you know what? It was in the middle of the night. I was up at 3 o'clock, just tossing and turning. And I just filled out the application, and I didn't even really realize what it was. It was the middle of the night. I filled the whole thing out. I hit send, and then I went to sleep. And then 2 weeks later, I got a call back because QVC, HSN, and Zulily were spotlighting 20 small Black-owned businesses across the country. And I had been chosen. They wanted to make sure you had a social component. So I did have the Best Life Tribe. And I also have another company called Beauty That Cares, where we work with Girl Scouts to teach them about entrepreneurship and natural beauty. So once they saw that, they actually chose us, and we were chosen to be on HSN and QVC Live 4 times in one day. We were on Zulily, we were on the podcast. It was such an amazing opportunity. And they didn't really want anything. They were there to promote our website and push business to our website. And the revenue through that weekend was amazing. And we've captured those customers, and they've joined the tribe. And it has just been it's been a blessing. That part has been a blessing.
Awesome. All right. So, how are you scaling all this stuff for your 2021? I mean, are we coming out with sea moss bed sheets? I mean, what else you got? What else you got coming? What are you working on?
You know what? I listen now. Like I said, my tribe is now, they're my, I'm listening to hear what they want. So we've got sea moss kits coming out. We've got turmeric kits. We've got elderberry syrup kits. So people are really taking their health and wellness into their own hands and wanting to do a little bit more holistic. So I'm really listening to that. I'm still doing the bath and body products, but the wellness side in this pandemic has really ticked up. And it's all about listening to what they want.
I love it. Since the pandemic, I've become an elderberry person. I take 2 elderberry gummies every day. Yeah. So no, I'm about that life too. So I need to pay more attention to your tribe. Listen, one last thing. Tell me, what is the best piece of business advice anyone has ever given you?
I mean, it sounds so cliche, but stay true to yourself. Business is hard. And if you're not doing something that you love, eventually it's just because there's times when you want to quit. And sometimes the only thing you're leaning on is the fact that I love this business, or I love this, I have a passion for this. Because if you don't, sometimes times get tough, and that's pretty much it. Once your mind checks out, then the business checks out behind it. So have a passion for what you're doing.
I love it. Thank you so much, Dawn, for all that you do. I'm so excited to see how your business is going to continue to scale in 2021. And I think you've given people some really good ideas too. And what I'd like to do now is invite all of my guests back for a quick panel discussion as we close out Small Biz Chat Live. So I want to bring back Susie Carder and Anthony Michael Russo. Come on, guys. We are going to do a little something that we call the Hit It and Quit It segment. Now, let me tell you what this is. I'm going to ask each of you the same question. You cannot repeat each other's answers, and you only have 30 seconds to answer. All right. So I need you to be brief, ladies and gentlemen, like they are on Twitter. Be brief. All right. Now, our first question, I am actually going to bring it to you, Susie, because you've been on ice the longest, and then Anthony, and then Dawn, you're going to be third. So here we go. First question, Susie, what is your favorite podcast? What is your favorite podcast?
Ooh, that's a good one. Let's stump the question. So there's a podcast called Goal Digger, and Goal, Goal Digger. And
I like that podcast too.
Do you like it? I like
Yes.
it. Fun, engaging. She's sassy, just talks about real stuff, so that's one of my favorites.
I like that podcast too. All right, Anthony, what about you? What's your favorite podcast?
I'm a Gary Vee junkie. So Gary Vee's podcast is typically the go-to. I actually listen to more YouTube than podcasts. Like I'll just go through stuff on there. So I count it as podcast. So I'm going to go with Gary Vee's podcast 100%.
All right. Don, Miss Pukalita, what is your favorite podcast?
I am a Michael Hyatt person. So I like Michael Hyatt. I love Lead to Win. So I listen to that all the time.
I like the funny stuff. So I like Marie TV too. I like Marie Forleo. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Michael Hyatt's as well. He's a dear friend also, but I really do like his podcast and just a lot of stuff about his brand. All right, second question. This time, Anthony, I'm going to start with you, and then I'm going to go to you, Dawn, and then Susie, you get to go last this time. What is your favorite business app? Favorite business app?
Oh, goodness. Favorite business app? Oh, goodness gracious. I'm an old school person. I don't do a lot of tech stuff. I mean, communication wise, our business is run with Hangouts. So as of right now, I'd say what I use the most from a communication perspective, I probably need a Zap app for my dog, but that's a different story. I'm going to go with Google, probably just the basic Hangouts. I don't use a ton. I mean, Instagram and Facebook are really it. That's how we conduct all of our business. So no major business app do I use.
I mean, you can say Instagram, that's an app, and you're using it to make money. I would claim that one, honestly.
I consider that social media business. I didn't know if it was the same thing. All right, so
it's an app on your phone. It's an app. Don't worry about it.
Technically, Facebook then.
All right, Dawn, what is your favorite app?
I am a Trello girl because I lack organization. So I am always on Trello. I have an app on my phone and just using those cards and putting them everywhere. That and my calendar. Very simple, but like organization is key for me. So Trello and my Google Calendar, and I'm good.
All right, good stuff, good stuff. Susie, I hope we didn't steal your thunder. What's your favorite app?
No, so one of my favorites, it's called Teleprompter. It goes on your iPhone, so you can write your script in there and put it on a little holder, and you can just speak in short, sweet, bite size, but you never forget the stuff. So you're never ums and ahs. It's a juicy one.
I like that. And see, I am a Samsung user, so I do use a superior device, but I do like that. And I'm going to learn about that. And I got to tell you guys, my favorite app is this really cool app that works on top of Gmail. It's called Mixmax. And it's cool. It's an app for closers. It's a marketing automation tool. But what I like it is, let's say somebody tells me they want to schedule a meeting with me. Well, I can send them back an email with a choice of options on my calendar. They click on it. Boom, it goes automatically to my calendar. We don't have this back and forth. Oh, can you do Tuesday at 2 o'clock? Here's when I'm available. Click it. I love it. So that's my favorite app, just to throw that out there. All right, next question. Dawn, this is first for you. Then we'll do Susie. Then we'll do Anthony. Dawn, what is your favorite old school marketing tip?
Old school marketing tip.
Old school.
I guess a mailing list, actually going to having a mailing list. And I mean, we used to have them on paper. Now there's so many apps that you could just enter them right in. But I guess old school, it would be printing out those papers and going places and like, can you sign my mailing list?
Hey, I think that still works. Look, I think getting a mailing list when you go do live events is still absolutely important. All right, Susie, what about you? What's your favorite old school marketing tip?
My favorite old school is referral programs. My best referral program is win my services free for a year. I get the most referrals and people, because they love us, right? They're like, how do I win you for a year? I'll tell you my referral program.
I love it. I love it. Anthony, what's your favorite old school marketing tip?
I don't know if it still works in the COVID era, but I'm still a big believer in genuine trust and a handshake. And I don't know what that's going to translate to, but the elbow bumps, I don't know.
Elbow bump, that's what that's going to be.
But that direct contact is still my concept.
Love it, love it. All right, last question for all of you guys. What is your favorite business book that you've ever read? What's your favorite business book? I'm going to start with you, Anthony, then I'm going to you, Dawn, and Susie, I will give you the last word on the subject. What is your favorite business book?
Whenever I do my performance coaching, there's one book I have people start with, and there's a second one. I'm going to start with the first one because I got to go first. The Alchemist to me is a once-a-year read by Paul Coelho. You got me. Anyways, the whole concept behind it and just the journey that you go through. And I talk all about journeys, so it's actually perfect for me and perfect for my message. So The Alchemist. I
love that book. Actually, I just downloaded it on Audible so I could listen to it. All right, Dawn, what is your favorite business book?
When I have an old school one, but I have one in the last couple of years when I was really building that Best Life Tribe, and it was Start With Why, Simon Sinek.
Yeah, that's a great book.
I really
Favorite book. All right, Susie, what's your favorite business book?
Mine's an oldie but a goodie. It's Michael Gerber's The E-Myth. Right. That started me in building multi-million-dollar businesses, and I use it to this day. Like, follow the system. Look, I love it. Follow the system.
So you stole mine, but all right. I had a backup. So I have become addicted to this new book. It's called Disrupt You by Jay Samit. I love this book. I think every adult and every child should read this book because he said, everybody wants to change the world. How about you start by changing yourself? I love that book. Listen, you guys, I really appreciate all of you for coming on to tonight's show. Profit Coach Susie Carder, leadership expert Anthony Michael Russo, and Miss Puka Leader herself, Dawn Finch from Puka Pure and Simple. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for coming on Small Biz Chat tonight, being here and being my guest. I will leave you all with this. You never lose in business. Either you win or you learn. I will see you all next time, and God bless. Take care. All right.
Oh, that was fun.
Good job.